Today's going to be an episode of revisiting our end goals and solidifying them. At the beginning of this series, we started with the intrepid explorer, the capitalist, the materialist, and the angry man himself, Robert. All of these collection of people had goals and what they wanted to achieve this series. Now, we have mainly achieved a lot of these goals, right? We've turned Chad Chazin into a furry. Robert's had his revenge, taking his anger out on random prisoners. Coca-Cola has become an extremely fast delivery driver, utilizing vehicles and stuff. And Dr. G has been able to achieve the goal of helping Chad Chadson become a furry. Nice. We've done things that we wanted to do this series, but now we need more. We need to achieve more, and we're going to be doing that mainly with the help of the Empire and against the Empire. I've been very lucky to be able to use the Empire and absolutely abuse the outsourced workers as much as humanly possible. So the plan for today is very simple. We're going to blitz through research once again, and we're going to start arming up our colonists and our people to go to war with the Empire, as well as fix Cottonwood and Kyle. Turns out it's a bug. Shout out to the person in the comment section that told me this is a bug. Basically, I need to revert them completely and then try it again and hope that it doesn't bug out. So if you enjoy any of today's episode or are excited to see what Invisible Kyle can achieve with his invisibleness, consider liking, subscribing, and make sure you tell your mum about it. Let's get into things, and let's start with the obvious stuff, okay? I want amplified mobility platforms for at least a couple more people, specifically Robert. I want him to have one, and I think I want Kyle to have one with a weapon attached to it, and I want Alamo to have one with a weapon attached to it. So there's going to be a lot of resources, but with fabrication, anything is possible. Fabrication, massive, huge, bloody lovely. We've got 125 components on the go at the moment, and with more on the way at all times. And it's out with the old and in with the new. We're finally saying goodbye to our old and very first power station. It's a sad day. It is a sad day. But I mean, we have 3 large chem fuel power plant generators on the way, with the third one being built. That's 16,000, 32,000. That's like 48,000 watts of energy, all from big oil. That is what we like. It's the American way, and I'm happy to continue doing it. Ooh, and advanced fabrication has come up as well. Even brilliant, because it unlocks the car transmission engine. What that means, we can finally build the Udar, the Mortar tank can be built. Oh, that's going to be very nice to complete. Alamo is apparently no longer considered human. He's been a dog for so long, and everything's been perfect, and now he's no longer a human. What is going on? What? Lab morph. But he's... the porn morpher stuff. I love the porn morpher mod, alright? I think it's fantastic. But I think it's impossible to use it properly in a large mod pack, which is a massive shame. It's the only mod I've had consistent issues with this series. So Alamo's going to have to be reverted as well. I have queued up reverters and things, but it's just going to take time for people to get around to making them. What a shame. I actually really liked Alamo with his dog ears and everything. I thought he was a cool looking bloke. That's annoying. That is a shame. I think we're going to have to definitely revisit the Porn Morpher mod in a future series, just with a smaller mod pack. And there they are. The last group of Empire outsourced workers are all collectively leaving. I'm going to miss them, you know. We've managed to stockpile ourselves 6,000 steel, which is very nice. Are we ready to start going to war with the Empire? Yes or no? Not really, honestly. I think I will get ourselves one more group of outsourced workers, right? One more, and that'll be it. But only have them for like a couple of days at a time, just to work on the plasteel deep drills rather than the steel ones. We've got plenty of steel. I don't need any more steel particularly. Plasteel, though, would be very nice. Another group of workers, and I'm only going to get 8 of them this time. We'll have them for 3 days this time, just whilst we're ramping up and getting ready to go to war with the Empire. 3 days should be enough for us to get maybe a couple more researchers on the go and go from there. Perfect, and there are our car transmissions. Yes, that's a car transmission. Alamo, come down here and build myself the Udar. Holy moly, I am so excited to finally have a big boy vehicle that can blow things up and do all those exciting things. And speaking of that, do we have access to any more vehicles now we have advanced fabrication? No, we do not. Oh, no, we have access to a Bunsen. Oh, no, we do have access to a new tank. A basic light tank The Bunsen is a modified armored vehicle suited for taking on enemy fortifications and exposed infantry. Special light plating to prevent self-immolation, combined with its main weapon directly drawing from its enlarged fuel tanks, leaves it with a very precarious Model 2 field. Interesting. So we do have access to like a new tank, which is cool. It's just not very good. So hopefully we can score a good research to get some better tanks. A sapling birth. Oh, don't tell me Cottonwood is pregnant again. She's naked. Coke, your wife is naked. How on earth are you having a child with it? I'd set them to not have a child either. Like, pregnancy was avoided, in fact. They still haven't... The second child hasn't even grown up yet. Jesus. Come on, guys. I'm not going to even... should I plant the sapling child? Yeah, I probably should. We'll go plant it, obviously, in the oil fields over here to really give it the American taste of life and go from there. And I'm not sure how it works when an invisible person plants a child, but you know how it is. It just kind of pops out of nowhere. There it is. The Udar has been built. We'll confirm the name. Holy moly. That thing looks like a big boy. Please, can we get some fuel in that? And we need to be able to set auto-reloading. Let's set it to about 40. Does that sound like an alright amount? I don't know if it takes steel to refuel it, but I feel like it's only right, obviously, to get our main man himself, the designated driver, Coca-Cola, the man, the myth, the legend, to take it for a spin. Lasso Udar. Use a lasso to pull Udar closer to Coke. This does not harm Udar. Why can you lasso a tank? It's only 480 kilos. That man has just lassoed a tank that's 400 kilos. Jesus Christ. So you have a driver, which obviously drives it around very, very slowly. Totally understandable. And then we guess we have someone as a driver. I guess Chad Chadson, come and get in as the gunner. And we can see how it goes. Hasn't reloaded yet, unfortunately, so I don't know if it requires steel or not. No usable ammo. Okay, so I think it does require mortar shells in order to load it. Let's park it in the garage, and we'll make some mortar shells, I think. I've queued up 10 high explosive shells. I assume that's the ammo the mortar tank takes, you know. I'm just making assumptions that a tank that is an artillery weapon takes mortar shells as a reloading mechanism. But once again, I am not 100% at all. And we've now built one of each of the amplified mobility platforms. One with a gun and one without a gun. Very, very nice. So we now have 3 amplified platforms. One for Mavis, who I need to rename to something more American. One for Robert, actually. Robert, I think, makes sense. Yes. And then probably one for Kyle as well. And the other one that's got a weapon on it, I might give to Cottonwood, potentially. Or maybe even Donnie T. You know, I think that sounds about right. Very lucky that there's an orbital trader at the moment that's come in and they are offering us some reverters. I've not been able to make any for the longest time, just because we don't have the resources for it. So we can use this opportunity to buy them and just go from there. It is, like I said before, it's such a shame that I can't do more with it. It just won't work, though. Okay, then, Kyle. So it's time for your operation. Reverse vasectomy. No. Administer reverter. Whilst the reverse vasectomy might help you in one way or another, it's not what we're trying to do right now. Let's get all of the reverters installed on our very unfortunate invisible people and go from there. Now, all of them are receiving the reverters, so they'll all go back to normal now. Goodbye, furryism. We still obviously do have the furry that is Chad Chadson. I can't believe Chad is also still completely... I want to say normal, but it's just invisible. It's just we can see his body still. Who knows how long before Chad turns invisible, you know? Maybe he's the one true furry and the rest of them are just imposters, you know? He's the only one that's fully aligned himself with furryism. The one true furry, the chosen one, perhaps. And a group of KO dinos have wandered into the area. They'll stay for a while, then leave. You can choose to hunt, tame, or revert them. Oh, hello! Era, Marcus, Poopy. Homie do be looking kind of poopy, let's be fair. So these are all former humans. I can revert all of these. Interesting. I mean, they're pretty good. Like, they're not bad. I guess I'll just aim to recruit them. I'll revert them if I can, and that's about it, you know? Poopy is the only one I really want out of all of these, honestly, you know? No good stats whatsoever, just what I expect from someone called Poopy, honestly. Form a human relationship. Robert's aunt! No way! Robert's aunt, that means that is... Oh my god, that's crazy. Okay, we're gonna accept Poopy into the colony. Hello, Poopy. Poopy is a female KO hen, former human. Okay, well, we have one more reverter. So I guess I'll just use that on you. And we've got Poopy, Robert's aunt. That throws a real spanner in the works with, like, all the lore of the series and everything with Robert and everything else. That's crazy. That's not what I expected whatsoever. And there it is. Coke has decided to do the job himself, you know, doing things for Robert, trying to win over his trust. And there it is. Poopy has been reverted. Poopy is a 82-year-old baseliner, ocean lover, too smart, desensitized, 11 in mining, 8 in cooking, 4 in plants. Not really the best colonist, honestly. I'm gonna arrest her. Romance Poopy, 17% chance. Tasty. I'm gonna arrest her and then convert her and go from there, honestly. I don't think Robert's going to be too upset about that. I don't think he expected to see her here, honestly. So we've managed to make the first couple of mortar shells. What better way than to test our lovely, lovely Udar. American might in vehicle form. Who is our most upset and scary looking outsourced worker? It's got to be Maverick. Look at that hairstyle. My man is just defying gravity and physics with that hairstyle. That's too scary for me. Maverick, come and stand out here in the middle of the desert and just stand there waiting patiently. We've got Dr. Jew driving and Coca-Cola is in the gun seat. Right, so we need to aim towards Maverick with the main turret. Perfect. So there it is, main turret. We're going to very, very nicely shoot at Maverick, okay? Takes a while to load up, and then there it is. There is the mortar shell. Maverick, how are you feeling, my friend? Ate a lavish meal, luxuriantly comfy. Alright, at least you're potentially going out happy. That did literally nothing to you. You did potentially nearly die from the mortar shell, but not actually much happened. That was actually kind of disappointing, you know? That was kind of disappointing. You guys can drive home. That I was not impressed with that. Shit. I mean, I'd imagine if you have, like, 2 Udars driving around the map firing mortars, it's probably quite good. But just having 1, not really. Once again, our lovely outsourced workers have left. If I look at our resources right now, we have 14 steel, 241 plast steel. We've got 1 more amplified platform left to build. Are we ready to go to war with the Empire? Not really. Not really, honestly. I kind of hoped I'd have more resources stockpiled. Unfortunately, a lot of our steel costs went into rebuilding all of the hydroponics, which is fantastic. It's really nice to have all 3 hydroponics on the go at the same time. It means we're growing lucha leaf here, smoke leaf, and rice. We've got food and lots of drugs being grown, but we now are out of resources entirely once again. You know what? I think we do need to summon outsourced workers again. I'm not overly happy that I'm going to have to get them back again, and I'm not overly happy that I'm going to have to go back to having loads of them on the deep drills to maintain our amount of steel. But I feel like we need to, honestly. It's not really a case of, we don't necessarily have to have them. No. We need our good friends, the outsourced workers. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to be able to keep up with any of our weapon production or anything. So I think, yeah, once again, we're going to get ourselves 10, I think. That should be a good amount, I reckon. It means we can get back up into the steel positive and everything as well. And give us another 3 days. 4 days. 4 days, all right? We still haven't... I want to get another tank research as well. 4 days, it'll be fine. Just like that, Alamo has got his face back. So ever so slightly has some fur on his right hand, and that is it. But most importantly, is now human again. Kyle is also now human again as well. He's currently busy researching, but we can see from his picture he currently exists. And Cottonwood is also back to being a human, no longer a furry anymore. Doesn't have a face, unfortunately, and that's very unsettling to look at, but is now actually back at her human form. And there it is, the last armed amplified platform has been built. We now have 4 armed platforms. No tanks yet or anything, but I mean, these are literally the equivalent of tanks, basically, depending on who's in them. Mavis in one of those is basically a melee equivalent of a tank, which is absolutely ridiculous, obviously. I have checked the research thing to make sure that we are actually able to get tanks, and we are. We've just gotten unbelievably unlucky with research. I'm going to keep on with it, though, and hope that we can somehow score the research we need. Oh, dear. We have an issue. It turns out these lovely Chaos hens, Poopy and co. Turns out they like eating humans, and they've just been sitting on our base. I thought that because they were part human, they'd be pretty tame. Turns out, not. Oh, God. Okay, right. Chad, and get outside with the M60. You know, the most friendly weapon we've got. And just beat them. Oh, dear. Lee has died, unfortunately, one of our outsourced workers. Ronnie there is probably going to die as well. A sad, sad death. Oh, dear. Chadson, run. Run, my friend. Imagine being chased down by a chaos human. Just absolutely... Former human conflicted. Like, these are generally people. They have thoughts, emotions, and feelings. What are they feeling at the moment? Probably not very much, because they've been shot absolutely to shit by Chadson. Chad, please, deal with Marcus. Dodge. Just kill him, please. And Chadson has unfortunately gone down here. A right eye has been absolutely taken out of him. The American life is not going well against Marcus, the poopy demon. Mavis, please, can you come over here and save Alamo? Of all the characters, Alamo is arguably the most... Oh, dear. Left hand torn off. Christ, this is brutal. Absolutely brutal. Marcus versus Mavis? The fight of the century. Mavis, yeah, 2-hit kills straight away. That's what we like to see. And a prison break as well. Poopy, Gaga, Ruler, and Noro. Mavis, Robert's a bit busy at the moment, so Mavis can do the job of Robert. Just stand there nicely and beat them a little bit, you know? Mavis, a ex-Titan, lining them up and just beating them senselessly. Execute them, you know, just do your thing. 3 down, and the last one, all of them just very nicely, Raoul has been cut to ribbons. Well, Mavis, you did a good job. You did murder one of them, quite quickly, in fact. Poopy has had an arm ripped off by Mavis. Jesus. Raoul, what happened to you? It must have been pretty bad if you've just, like, straight up died. Just cut in half. Well, you shouldn't have tried to escape. That was the first mistake you made. And we're finally getting our very first harvest of Glowvine seed pods. These things have been growing. How many episodes? It must have been probably about 10 episodes ago, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if it was when we first started getting into the porn morpher stuff. I don't know the exact time, but it has taken literal years in-game of growing these Glowvine seed pods. Like, a most ridiculous a time. It would have been just after we built the asphalt highway. That's what it would have been. Christ. I mean, we are getting like 7, 3, 3, 6, 7, 2, 2, 2. We're getting a good amount of them each time, and I'd imagine this harvest here would be enough for an entire playthrough, but Christ, it took so long! And a growth moment for Baby. Baby Prissy Cone. Oh, God, what an awful name. Prissy. Prissy the pissy baby. Child. Okay, well, this child, unlike any other child we've had before, will be given the gene pack for a illegally small frame. So not only are they now a child, they're very small and incapable of doing anything, we're going to make them even smaller. Yeah, go on. You look like you're going to be a really good melee character for us. Used to gain genes. How much smaller are we going to make this 3-year-old? Not much smaller, interestingly. Illegally small frame. Maybe it doesn't take effect yet? I don't know. Hunger rate is all the way down at 50% though, which is fantastic. It hasn't changed anything else so far. I don't know, actually. You know what? Maybe it has. Maybe she is slightly smaller, potentially. Who knows? Oh, I look. Oh my. Oh dear. We seem to have made her a little bit on the small side. Whoops. Well, that's going to be our brand new melee character of the series, which is very exciting. Oh, and there it is. Combat vehicles has finally popped. A Bulldog, a Himax V1. Himax V1 Gao. Wow. I don't know what any of those things are. That, I think, is going to be one of the final researches I actually want to grab for us to enter a pure American military industrialization era. Now, there's probably some more researches that I need to grab along the way for, like, different armors and things. But as far as I'm concerned, combat vehicles to give us the tank, that's all I really want, honestly. So I think on that note, we are going to call this episode here. I think the next episode and the one after that are going to be the final couple of this series as things draw to a close. I'm very excited this episode that I've managed to crank out a few more of these advanced armed amplified mobility platforms. Very cool, very swag. I think they're going to be extremely good in combat. Apart from that, lots of exciting things have happened this episode. I've done the hydroponic stuff. I've expanded industrial stuff. You know, we've done all the things that I wanted to do, which is lovely. So if you enjoyed today's episode and are excited to see how Mavis faces against the Empire in one of her little suits, consider liking, subscribing, and make sure you tell your mum about it. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.